Hi, my name is Candy Robinson. I am a district engineer for waste management in Ohio. There isn't really a typical day because of the diversity of the work that I do. I could be out in the field sampling, or I could be working with other contractors that are here doing installation of equipment or building new landfills. If we are building new space for our landfill, we would have to excavate an area, make sure that the ground is properly compacted. We would do liner installation in that area because obviously our landfills are all lined these days. And then we would have to put in all of the mechanicals that go along with the construction of the landfill. There would be the leachate collection system, any gas system that would have to go in at that point in time, and all the earthwork along with that. When I was in middle school and then again in high school, I really had a passion for math and science. Certainly math probably more than science in middle school, but then once I got to high school, I really had a very good chemistry teacher, and she really encouraged me to go into a science-related field. I started out as a chemistry major and decided I didn't necessarily want to be in a laboratory all the time, and that's when I made the switch to chemical engineering instead of just straight chemistry. From an engineering perspective, you're not only looking at just the chemistry behind the work, you're also looking at the business part of the chemistry, really. You're looking at the whole process of what you're doing from start to finish. So from the point of where you research and build your product to then getting it out the door. For someone who'd want to pursue a career in engineering, I would strongly encourage them to start taking math and all the science courses they possibly can, even in middle school and certainly through high school. Very important to take those opportunities that are presented to you. Don't think that you only need to take the basics. Branch out. If there's an opportunity for you to take a physics course or an anatomy course or an advanced chemistry course, go ahead and take it, because something you learn in that course might point you in a direction that you never really thought about. Primarily, the education required for this job is usually someone who has a degree in civil engineering. I use my education in my work certainly from a math perspective, a lot of calculations that have to be done. It might not be the same thing every single day, but certainly there is some application of what I learned in school that pops up every day. These days you really cannot do this job without having computer experience. It's an evolutionary process every day. It's not static, it changes all the time, so you just have to be able to use your base of knowledge and then improve upon that as you proceed. If you're thinking about a career in engineering, again, I would emphasize sticking to math and or science. If you have an opportunity to job shadow someone in a career field that you might be interested in, take that opportunity. If you have family or friends that might be in that career, certainly approach them and get as much information as you possibly can. If you can hook up with somebody who's doing any kind of environmental compliance and understand what they do from a compliance perspective and or monitoring perspective or sampling, you know, there's a lot of different paths you can take. There is such a demand coming up that you have to have more than just a high school education, but you need some form of technical education to do this kind of work. The most exciting thing is that it's not the same every single day. Certainly there is some component of what I do that's routine, but depending upon what's coming in to our site, one day can be very different from another day. Certainly weather plays a big part in our development of our site, and so we have to be very cognizant of what weather conditions are out there. We're very susceptible to the volume that's coming into the facility, so we can plan all that we want, but unless we get to the point where we need to do more work, we kind of just continue on with what we've got until we run out of space, and then we have to build more space. One aspect of the job that is frustrating to me on occasion is the speed with which we move. Certainly there are projects that we want to do that we would move on very quickly, and because of regulatory requirements, we might not be able to move as quickly as we want to. Also, we're very susceptible to industrial changes, economic changes. Economic downturns have significantly impacted us in this line of business, and we cannot move as quickly on projects as we want to. Similar jobs in the same field might be water and or groundwater sampling, could be in the same kind of field. If you had experience in excavation and or road design, that might be a similar type of application, because essentially we are just one big giant construction project all the time, so there's a lot of similarities in that respect. Take a new path, try something different, even if it's just for a quarter or a semester. Take something that's out of your normal direction and investigate some other opportunity. Find out whether other opportunities might be out there in their particular field and or similar to their particular field. Don't think that just because you end up as one thing, that's where you're going to remain the rest of your life, your work life, because certainly that's not what happened to me. And that's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. You just have to follow the path that you start on and keep taking all those chances that you can.